Hi everyone, welcome to Land and Sea. I'm Jane Adey. The rocks are bare now, but come springtime, the cliffs in this province will be filled with seabirds. There are far fewer in recent years, and that has prompted concern. In this story, we follow the efforts of dedicated seabird researchers, all of them focused on the plight of the birds. Our story begins at Cape St. Mary's Ecological Reserve. It's a grand view, and on a fine day, as the fog starts to lift, a sea of seabirds that return year after year.
Yeah, I think he's the closest, so.
Yeah, I'd say.
Bill Montevecchi is here too. Like the northern gannets he studies, he makes an annual return to this spot. Using a pole and noose, he's ever so gingerly trying to make a capture with only kind intentions. Bill is a world-renowned seabird biologist, studying seabird behavior. Today, his team's goal is to capture and attach tracking devices to 10 gannets. Noosing them takes a steady hand.
This guy's a fighter.
And quick reflexes to avoid the beak.
Oh, shit.
Not so lucky with this one.
Now, so you want this feisty guy. He's a real bucking bronco. But get that. You okay?
Okay, go.
But soon, the grudging gannet is up the hill. Most weigh more than 3 kilograms.
Jeez, he's heavy. Yes. 357. 3.57. No?
After the scales, a team of Bill's students from Memorial University and a staff member from Cape St. Mary's conduct an array of tests. They need a small amount of blood to determine the sex of the bird. A swab to the throat to check for avian influenza. On the other end, a butt swab, also testing for the flu. The work can get a little messy.
Oh, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Perfect.
It's a complete beak-to-tail service, finishing with trackers attached to the birds.
Yeah, this is solar powered, so it will last as long as the GPS stays on the tail. And why we do it right now with the chicks is because that's when it's maximum energy demand for the parents. So we're looking at, basically how they raise their young and where they have to go get food. So that'll be on that bird for about the next 2 months, and then it will fall off.
Once the testing is complete, the birds are marked so they aren't recaptured by the team.
You ready?
We're ready.
And then, sweet freedom. These birds face a lot of environmental challenges. Pollution, predators, and a warming ocean. Avian influenza has had by far the biggest impact on gannets in recent years. Thousands of gannets died here. The testing helps gauge how they're coping overall.
Right now, we're into about a 10th year of tracking gannets, and we're looking at where they go to get food. They're like fishermen. Some of them specialize. They go to different places to get different fish. So that's just been a basic question, because it tells us sometimes something about the fish that are out there that sometimes tells us something about the fishery.
You want GPS? B9.
Bill is a professor emeritus. While he no longer teaches classes, he is as busy as ever working at his lab and out in the field. Bill wants to keep doing this work as long as he can, but he's encouraged by young researchers coming behind him. His team of students are bright and motivated.
That guy looks like the easiest catch.
What about that guy?
Sydney Collins is the coordinator of this gannet project.
Okay, I'll try that one. Yeah.
Today, for the first time under Bill's guidance, She's going to try and catch a gannet.
Yeah.
It takes a minute or two to settle on a target.
All right, just get comfortable.
The noose is set.
You got him. Pull down. Okay, you got him. Now you gotta land him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. Good. That's perfect. I'll grab the birds.
Okay.
I got it.
Thanks.
Now you can say you got the gainer.
I did it! I'm shaking like a leaf though, oh my god. Here, wait, can I? That was very exciting.
Great. Passing the torch.
Thanks, Bill, that was great.
Oh, you were great.
I'm shaking like a leaf though.
I know, you did it.
I did it!
That's great.
Oh my god! I have learned everything from Bill. I love working with him so much. Obviously, I've learned a lot of really detailed techniques. Today, I was extremely fortunate to learn how to catch my first gannet from Bill, and that was so exciting. And he's taught me a lot about just how to, organize groups and talk to people, and a lot of it is leading by example. I love the way that he has treated me and everyone in the lab throughout our time here. He really treats us as people. He really cares about us, and he really cares about the birds. And that makes us care about each other and about the birds. And so I've really tried to integrate that into my own leadership for sure.
It has been a successful day at Cape St. Mary's. 10 gannets captured and tested.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah, I think it's all right.
But the team doesn't come away unscathed.
Looks pretty bad.
Over the years, Bill's arms have taken quite a pecking from some powerful beaks. He says every nick, he calls collateral damage, has been worth it to learn more about the birds.
It's just really enriching, and so I just feel happy to do it, and I'll keep doing it till I can't do it. We might be getting close, I don't know. So far I'm hobbling along, yeah.
When we come back, another adventure with Bill and his students, and some Leach's storm petrels off Baccalieu Island. Bay de Verde Harbor in July. The hustle and bustle of the day is over here, and it's coming on evening. But for Bill Montevecchi and his crew of young scientists, this is when their work begins. They'll spend the night aboard Tony Doyle's fishing boat in search of seabirds. While the northern gannets are the largest seabirds off our shores, this survey will focus on the smallest breeding seabird in eastern Canada.
It's called the Leach's storm petrel. It's a little bird about the size of a robin. They're here in the millions, and the largest colony in the world is just outside the bay here on Baccalieu. There's about 3 to 4 million birds on it. It's remarkable. You go by during the day, you'll never see one. You go by at night, you can see lots of them. They nest in burrows on the island, so during the day they're just hiding. If they come out, the gulls kill them on the wing. But what the concern has been with these birds is in the last 30 years, maybe 40 years, millions of them have disappeared.
Tonight, they'll be checking to see what effect bright lights aboard fishing boats have on the nocturnal storm petrels. Out through the harbor, a nice calm evening. The boat ride to Baccalieu Island takes about an hour. While Bay de Verde residents may be settling in for a quiet night, the residents out here are getting active.
A tornado of birds.
This island is home to tens of thousands of gannets, puffins, kittiwakes, murres, and millions of tiny storm petrels.
This is Ned Walsh's Cove. This is a real hotspot for storm petrels, and this is where we'll start our survey, because probably most of the traffic coming in from the offshore will be coming and going around this place.
Once darkness falls, the team will stop at each kilometer out to turn on the boat lights full blast. They'll do this every kilometer out to 10K. Each time, they'll stop for 5 minutes to count storm petrels in the air and the ones that hit the boat.
We know they're attracted to light. We know also when the lights are on in fishing boats, many, many more birds come onto the boat than when the lights are off, just the running lights are on. And so we know those things, but the next kind of question is, if those birds are attracted to these lights on this boat or any fishing boat, might there be a buffer and where it's most risky?
Dark night is coming on fast. As they wait, there's some concern. It's early in the season. Will the birds be out?
Normally, right after dark, there's often a lot of movement. And we're a little bit past that now, but don't know. I mean, right now, the only birds that will be coming and going are basically birds that are breeding. The young ones haven't hatched yet, so that's when there's really a lot of action, but patience, patience.
Once they move out a kilometer or two, nature's bird show begins, starring the wee storm petrels. These adult birds are out in search of food, sometimes flying for days before returning to the island. But bright lights here disorient them and can throw them off course. Up on top of the boat, Jessica Lamar and Bill count the birds they can see in the sky at 1-minute intervals.
Okay, that's it.
120?
Yeah. Flying.
Yes, yes, all of
Okay.
Zone A, all Leach's storm petrels.
Okay, that's a 5-minute.
Oh, another collision?
As fast as biologist Bobby Blackmore can record the birds hitting the boat, others follow. In the stern, researcher James Murphy also has his hands full. After 5 minutes of counting birds in the air and releasing those that get stranded aboard, it's lights out and the boat heads out another kilometer. Researchers perform a strange test during the survey. They blow on the petrel's belly to see if the bird has been sitting on an egg.
So it's a patch of exposed bare skin where they lose the feathers, and that skin to egg contact helps them incubate the egg and keep their temperature regulated.
Bare skin means it's an adult and likely living on Baccalieu Island. If the adult bird doesn't return to the nest, the egg won't hatch and a future storm petrel is lost. It's been a long night, and as sunrise approaches, the team heads back to Bay de Verde. The crew is pleased.
We had a lot of birds on the boat, a lot of birds hit the boat. 95% of them when the lights were on. So, I mean, that's the kind of evidence we're looking to get.
The evidence will help them make an important recommendation. A buffer zone around the island, a place where ships or boats would turn out their lights. It could be one of Bill's legacies, pushing others to respect their ecosystem, all in hopes of protecting the birds.
Yeah, Bill is both a cowboy, but also a sentinel for change. I mean, Bill is amazing to work with, and he cares first and foremost about the environment, and particularly, especially in this case, about seabirds. He has inspired me and helped me and taught me so much.
See, there's the good news, the plant lights are out.
When we come back, we'll spend the night at the fish plant in Bay de Verde, where efforts are underway to rescue birds gone off course and send them back out to sea. It's early October, and we are back in Bay de Verde. As darkness falls, the town lights up. Artificial light, wherever it comes from, fishing boats, oil platforms, or fish plants, attracts and disorients Leach's storm petrels. If the young bird hits the fish plant and then the ground, it's difficult for them to get airborne again. Stranded, they become an easy meal for gulls and cats.
Sometimes there were more than 1,000 birds here in one night. Right now it looks like it might be slow.
One of Bill Montevecchi's seabird research teams is here to look for stranded birds.
I was here one night 5 years ago, and I came down to the plant, and it was just, you need sunglasses when it's lit up. And I just couldn't stand it. I just had this gut feeling, what is going on? There wasn't anybody fishing at the time, and these lights, and why? And so anyway, I just walked into the plant. The secretary said, do you have a appointment? I didn't, and they were really gracious, and I ended up in the boardroom with the manager and said, can you turn these lights out if you don't need them?
A success story for Bill. The managers and owner agreed. Extra lighting to safely unload fishing boats would be switched off when not needed. Tori Burt is a master's student at Memorial University and has been studying the birds here with Bill since 2021.
We often get these birds, leaf storm petrel strand around the plant in numbers of like hundreds to thousands annually. And so we were examining why this was happening. And so we actually set up a lighting schedule with the plant workers to have the lights be turned on and off on even and odd days. And every day, the weighmaster of the plant, Sherry Green, who's a huge part of this project, would go around and check the storm petrel boxes and the bird shelters and count the number of birds in the boxes, and then she would release them. And I analyzed that data and showed that by even a partial reduction of the lighting at the plant, we were able to reduce strandings by up to half, actually. So it's a really, really big deal.
Tonight, Tori and biologist Bobby Blackmore are on petrel patrol, checking all around the plant.
I looked in there. Yeah.
The birds can be anywhere, and there are lots of places to hide.
These are actually some modified rat traps that we are provided by Canadian Wildlife Service to the weighmaster Sherry here at the plant. And they actually act as bird shelters. They like to seek refuge in dark places. So they'll crawl in here and then we can just pop it open and take them out the next morning. And that way we can count them, release them, and they stay safe from predators in here.
And then there are the unlucky ones that didn't find a safe haven.
I don't know, it does kind of look like it was crushed.
Well, I bet you it was in there hiding
Yeah,
and
and
someone
someone walked on it.
Crushed it.
100%, yeah.
A little while later, they begin finding live stranded birds.
He might go in the box. No. I'll get him, Bobby.
Calling for mom or dad.
Got one, Bill.
All right. So was it in the box or?
It was behind the box. I think this is the fledgling, and you can see that the wing ends are really pointed. The tips of their wings haven't been worn down yet.
Amazingly, what the science suggests is that these little birds are en route to the southern Atlantic, somewhere between southwestern Africa and the coast of Brazil for the winter, before making their return north to Bakalu Island next spring.
So there's this incredible, really incredible beak with a nostril on the top. So these little tiny birds are related to albatross. And essentially this is a little tiny albatross.
There are just a handful of birds this evening. They're all going to be banded, weighed, and measured. Then into a box to await release.
Oh, yep, there's one in this box.
It's a satisfying part of the research, helping these little birds back on their route.
It doesn't look too injured or anything.
Tori says anytime she's had doubts about her own path, Bill Montevecchi has reassured her their work matters.
Yeah, he's good. There you go.
He's continued to just be super supportive of my project, and every time I feel like I'm faltering, Bill has just been able to pick me up and bring me right back to where I was going. Every conversation I have with Bill, I always feel better about things than when I didn't.
Later into the night, on a hill overlooking the bay, a chance to spread their wings. The last step in Bill's hands-on approach to helping seabirds large and small.
Yeah, you take the first one, Bill.
You know, this essentially is the ultimate experience for giving a bird a second chance. This bird would be dead if we hadn't picked it up. It's flown once in its life, and it ended up by the plant and the lights. Now it's going to fly for the second time in its life, and hopefully it'll just go out to sea. 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Where'd
He's
he
gone.
go?
The researchers' worst fear is a world without storm petrels and gannets. And the seabird's best hope is a world with more people like Bill Montevecchi, leading his teams in a quest for balance and a greater understanding of nature.